Hello! Welcome to Intermediate English with Gregg. That's me. So, let's get started. Let's warm up with the weather.
Greg, how's the weather today?
There isn't a cloud in the sky. There isn't a cloud in the sky. Let's check the board. Well, the question, right? Oops. How's the weather today? Right? Today's answer, maybe not so difficult, because today's answer is this. There isn't a cloud in the sky. Now, maybe you can understand this. Right? Of course, if we're talking about a cloud, right? Of course we're talking about kumo, but there isn't a cloud, of course, in the sky. So, it's just a very blue sky, right? No clouds. It'd be very, very good weather, right? There isn't a cloud in the sky, right? So let's practice this. I'll ask the question. Please use today's phrase. How's the weather today? Great. Now, for today's lesson. Now, for today's lesson, we are continuing to talk about food. Right? And this will be part 3. Now, in part 1, we talked about some dish names. Right? How to describe some Japanese dishes. Right? In number 2, we talked about the cooking styles of different dishes. And today, part 3, we're going to talk about food, but today's point, the tastes and textures. Okay? So the taste, that's very easy. Right? その味. And the texture is the feeling. その食感とか. Okay? So today's lesson is about taste and textures. Today's main point will be vocabulary. Okay? Because the phrases are not so hard. Okay? The situation is the same. Right? Maybe the visitor looks at a dish or the menu and asks the question, what's this? Right? Now, of course, you can tell them the Japanese name. Okay? It's called, okay? For example, it's called manju. It's called kimpira. It's called natto. Okay? We can use the Japanese name. Okay? Now, but to give more information, today using taste and textures, very simple, it's, and you can use the taste or the texture. We can use this phrase, it has a taste, right? Or it has a texture, also okay. Right? Okay, or we can use this idea, it's a kind of, using the texture and taste, and then the name of the food. Okay? Now, we will give some examples at the end of the lesson, but first let's check the vocabulary. Okay? That is maybe our main point today. Okay? Here is a list of some tastes and textures. Okay? Now, maybe many of these ideas you already know. So maybe this is good review. Or maybe you can learn 2 or 3 new words. Okay? Let's look at the list. Okay? Then let's repeat them just for practice one time. Okay? We have the word sweet, sour, bitter, salty, spicy, zesty, oily, bland, light, and one more word, refreshing, right? Strong, one more word, rich, right? Creamy, smooth, hard, or the opposite, soft, right? Crunchy, right? Sticky. Now there are 2 meanings for this word, sticky, right? Watery, and then the hot and the opposite, cold. Now, just to check, right? Maybe in your mind, you are thinking of the meaning. Right? First, sweet is amai. Sour, supai. Right? Bitter, nigai. Salty, shoppai. Right? Spicy, karai. Right? Now, maybe this is a new word, zesty. Right? Zesty is very much like spicy, karai, but this is more piri karai, right? Zesty. Today we will use this word. Right? Oily, ちょっと油っぽい. Right? Now this word may be a new word, bland. Bland means 味がない. Right? 味がない. Now this word light and strong, with all tastes, if it's usui, you can use the word light taste. If it's koi, you can use the word a strong taste. Now there's two more words here, refreshing and rich. Refreshing is more さっぱりしたもの. And rich, もうこってりした. Right? So, right, the light taste, the strong taste. Of course, creamy, in Japanese, maybe the same, creamy. Right? Smooth, maybe recently smooth, or in Japanese, nameraka, right? Smooth. Hard and soft, very easy. Of course, katai, yawarakai. Right? Crunchy is like hard, maybe saku-saku. Right? Now, sticky, two meanings. One sticky, of course, neba-neba. Right? But one more sticky wa mochi-mochi. Right? So maybe two meanings sticky. Watery, very easy, of course, mizu, mizu-poi, watery. And then, of course, hot and cold, that's easy. Right? Atsui, tsumetai. Right? So, these are the main ideas today. Right? These tastes and textures. Right? Now today, let's give 5 examples, right, about using these words. Right? For example, they ask the question, what's this? We tell them, it's called manju. Right? Manju, right? We can use one of these phrases. Right? So maybe we use number 3. Right? And we say manju, well, it's a kind of steamed bun. Okay? Now, but it's a kind of steamed bun, right? With sweet red beans or a red bean paste. Right? So we're using our idea of sweet. Right? So it's a kind of steamed bun with sweet red beans. Right? Or maybe the dish is kimpida. So you tell them, it's called kimpida. Right? And let's say kimpida. Right? Let's use answer number 2. And for kimpida, let's use the word zesty. Right? So we just say, it has a zesty taste. Right? Talking about kimpida. We use the word natto. Right? Well, natto in English is natto. Right? But maybe we say, right, just a simple idea, answer number 1. Right? Never, never stop. Right? It's sticky. Right? Right? Maybe the dish is nabe. You can tell them, it's called nabe. And maybe we use, again, this idea, right, that it's a kind of hot pot. Right? We use the word, of course, hot. It's kind of hot pot. Now we could continue with many ingredients. Right? Many ingredients. So vegetables, fish, meat. Right? That's kind of hot pot. Right? Our last example, for example, the umeboshi. Right? Well, the name, right, it's called umeboshi. Right? Maybe we use, here, has. Right? It has maybe salty, shopai, right? And sour taste. Right? Spice. Right? So maybe both. Right? So, when you're talking about tastes and textures, there are many ideas to use. Right? So for today, we talked about manju, talking about the idea of sweet, and the sweet red beans. Or kimpira, talking about the word zesty. Right? Pirikarai. Right? Talking about natto, the texture, it's sticky. Right? The nabe, talking about simple, it's a hot pot dish. Right? Or for example, umeboshi, using the word salty and sour. Right? So, there are many, many ways to describe the dishes. Right? Maybe simple is always best. Right? Next time, right, we are going to listen to a conversation describing some food names. Right? But that's all for today. Right? See you next time.